Hi guys, it's Ben Heath from Lead Guru, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get Instagram followers with Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Now, this is something that people have asked me about quite a lot, and they said, how do you go about running Facebook ad campaigns, Instagram ad campaigns to get Instagram followers? Because it's not as straightforward as you might think. So I've been doing some experimentation over the last couple of months, and I found some strategies, some tips that work really well in terms of getting Instagram followers with ads, and that's what I'm going to share in this video. So I think you'll find it useful. Before I get into that, I want to quickly mention that at the end of this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of free Facebook and Instagram marketing resources that I think you're going to find very, very interesting. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to hear about those. With that said, let's get into it. So here I am inside Facebook Ads Manager. I'm inside an example ad account. And we're going to go about putting a campaign together. I'm going to show you the steps, putting a campaign together to get you Instagram followers. Now, the first thing I'll say is that there isn't a campaign type, a campaign objective specifically for Instagram followers like there is with Facebook page likes. So if you want to get lots of Facebook page likes, it's relatively straightforward. You run a Facebook page like campaign. You use that campaign objective, and then Facebook will put your ad in front of people that are most likely to like your page. It's a very, very effective way of getting Facebook page likes. That doesn't exist for Instagram followers. There is no Instagram followers campaign objective, so you have to get a little bit more creative, and that's what I've had to do, and that's what I've worked out here. By the way, I will include a link in the video description to that video on Facebook page likes if you also want to grow your Facebook presence and get a whole bunch of likes on that platform as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a Facebook ad campaign. We're obviously going to run it on Instagram. We want Instagram followers, so Instagram is going to be the placement option that we choose to use. That makes the most sense. Keep them within the app. And let's go ahead and give this a go. So I'm going to create let's just get rid of that. I'm going to create a example campaign. I'm going to switch to quick creation, by the way. So that's guided creation. I prefer quick creation for all sorts of reasons, but that's just a personal preference. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this example Instagram followers campaign. We are going to leave buying type as auction, and we're going to use campaign objective as traffic. Now, because there's no way we can track the conversion event that we're after, so the conversion event we're after is someone following us on Instagram, we can't track that within our Facebook ad account, okay? So because of that, we can't use a conversion objective and we can't optimize a specific event. What we're gonna have to do is select traffic, send as many people to our Instagram profile as possible, and hope that those people, a proportion of them, go on to follow you on Instagram. That does happen, by the way. As I said, I've been experimenting with this. I've proven that it does work. So that does happen, but that's why we're going to use the traffic objective. Campaign budget optimization, leave on. We're probably just going to start with the one ad set. Daily budget, just set to whatever it is you're comfortable with. And I'm just going to give this, you know what, I'll call it example ad set. So I'm going to add some stuff in there in a bit. An example ad. And let's save that to draft. Okay, so the campaign level is taken care of. We've got the right campaign objectives selected, CBO turned on, auction, boom, nothing more we need to do. Now we can go to the ad set level. And the first thing we need to work out here, you can scroll past all this sort of stuff and get down to audiences. First thing we need to do here is work out who do we want to target, okay? What's the best audience to target? Now, in my experience, I've tested a whole bunch of different audiences. The best audience to target is a 1% lookalike audience based off of people that already interact with your business on Instagram. Basically, your existing Instagram followers, if you can advertise and put an ad in front of people that are just like them, those people are highly likely to follow you on Instagram as well. Your cost per follow, as it were, is going to be much less advertising to those people than other groups, and that's what I found to work best. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So click on Ads Manager up here, then select Audiences, and I'm going to show you how to create that 1% lookalike audience I mentioned. So you want to click Create Audience, Custom Audience, and then you want to come here to Instagram Business Profile. That's the Facebook source we want to create the custom audience from. And then I'm going to go ahead and use everyone who engaged with your business in the last 365 days. Unless you've already got thousands and thousands of Instagram followers, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, you want to leave this very broad because you want the custom audience to be as large as possible. The larger the custom audience, the more accurate the subsequent lookalike audience will be when that lookalike audience is built off of that custom audience, because it gives Facebook more data. You know, if Facebook are trying to find the ideal prospect for you, if they have 5,000 people in the audience is going to really help versus 500. Got more data to do it with. Okay, so you can see there are more specific criteria here. So people who visited your profile, engaged with an ad, sent you a message, very, very specific. But I'm going to go with everyone who engaged with Instagram. And I'm going to do in the last 365 days, which is the maximum time span as well. So I'm going to call this Instagram. Oh, let's call them, it's not followers, it's not accurate. Instagram engagers 365, okay? People who've engaged with my business on Instagram within the last 365 days. And then you can see the option here, create a lookalike audience. That's exactly what I want to do. So the custom audience has been popped in there. Now, where do you want to create this lookalike audience? Okay, that's a really big question. Now, if you just want Instagram followers in the sort of country that you operate in or the countries that you operate in, which makes a lot of sense, obviously go about putting those in here. So for example, I could put in, United Kingdom in here. I could go ahead and create a 1% lookalike just off that. I could also add in, United States, Australia, Canada. Those are the sort of major countries that we do business in as a Facebook ads agency. The majority, we have clients in some other countries, but the majority of our clients come from those 4 countries. So I could go ahead and select that if that's what I wanted to do. You could also really broaden out where you want your lookalike audience to apply. Or you could even look to broaden this out significantly. If you add in, let's say, some less expensive countries to advertise in that are English speaking, so that would be countries like India, Pakistan, Philippines, these sorts of countries where you can get, the CPMs, cost per 1,000 impressions, are much lower. You can get followers for a much lower price. And if all you want is as many followers as possible, for the lowest price possible, then that's what I'd recommend. Really broaden this out. I mean, you could add in a load of African countries that are English speaking. I mean, I'm assuming you're creating ads in English, of course. So you want to pick English speaking countries. But, you can add in a load of less expensive locations to really get you as many followers as possible. If you're looking to get followers in a country like India, they're probably going to cost you 10 to 20% as much as followers in countries like the UK, the US, etc. Okay, so that just really depends on your strategy. If you're really looking to build a profile and you want the credibility of having a large Instagram following, that's important to you, go ahead and broaden it out. If you really want these people to become potential customers of yours and you know that your customers are far more likely to come from certain countries, certain locations, then narrow it down and go ahead and just select the countries that you operate in the most. Okay, then you can go ahead and click Create Audience. Now that audience is populating. It's going to take a little bit of time to do so, to go through the process. Usually takes Facebook about 30 minutes, but then we can go ahead and use that audience, which is absolutely fantastic. So now we can jump back over into Ads Manager and go back into our campaign. So here we have our example Instagram followers campaign that we just created. If I click into the campaign level, I'm taken to the ad set level. Let's go ahead and edit this. Okay, so let's scroll down to the audiences section. And here we want to pop in our, here we go, our lookalike based, 1% lookalike for Australia, Canada, US, UK, 1% Instagram engagers, 365. Now, one thing I'll quickly mention about that lookalike audience is that if you just operate on a local basis and you want all your Instagram followers to be within that geographical area, firstly, you're probably going to end up paying quite a bit more per follower. So just be aware of that. And secondly, you're going to want a much larger lookalike audience. So go with a 10% lookalike audience, okay? You may have seen that 1% lookalike audience across the 4 countries was 3.3 million people. But if you're just based in one city, let's say plus 20 miles or something like that, you're going to want to make that audience as large as possible because obviously the people within that location, there's far, far, far fewer than there is across all those countries I just listed, okay? So just a quick note if you're a local business to make sure that you do that. Okay, whenever you're adding in a local lookalike audience, obviously you want to make sure you add in your location. So we've got the UK in there. We obviously want the United States. We want Canada. And what was the other one? Australia. Okay, so we've got those 4 locations added in there. Whenever you're using a lookalike audience, you can keep age, gender completely open. Facebook is going to know, based on the data that you've given them, that if females aged 35 to 45 are most likely to follow you on Instagram, or males aged 18 to 23 are most likely to follow on Instagram. Facebook's going to know that from your lookalike audience, and that's what they're going to primarily target. So you don't have to worry about adding in criteria. You don't want to add in any detailed targeting criteria either. Don't go and narrow this audience down further. Keep it nice and broad, okay? Give Facebook a lot of leeway. Connections, you don't have to worry about. Automatic placement is not something we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and select manual placements. We're obviously going to get rid of everything that's not Instagram. You can run ads on Facebook, get people to go over to your Instagram profile and try and get them to follow you there. From what I found, I have tested that a little bit, it just didn't work. The cost per follow was much more expensive than obviously advertising on Instagram, which is not surprising in the slightest. You want Instagram followers, advertise on Instagram. And now what I'm going to recommend that you do is get rid of Instagram Explore, get rid of Instagram Feed, and just go with Stories. Now I've tested this, so I've tested Feed by itself against Stories by itself, and Stories perform significantly better. It not only performed better in getting a lower cost per click, so it cost me less to get someone to my Instagram profile, but it also, when I tested that and took a look at the numbers, these people were slightly more likely to follow me as well. Which is fantastic. So very, very limited placement options for this type of campaign, but that's what you want to do. You just want to go ahead and use Instagram Stories. Scrolling down, there's nothing else we need to do. Link clicks, absolutely fine. That's all we can optimize for. Okay, and that's your ad set setup. Now we want to click into the ad, the third and final option. And what I'm going to do here, instead of creating an ad from scratch, I'm going to show you the ads that I've run so you can take a look at those. So I've got those up in another tab. So here we go. We have here an ad that was run. So you can see okay, so let's talk about the rest of the ad and then let's get into the creative. So we have, one quick thing to note up here, Instagram account. Just make sure that your Instagram account is in there. And by the way, if you're watching this video, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Ben Heath Marketing. I release videos a few times a week, short little ones that give you Facebook and Instagram marketing tips. I'll include a link in the video description below. Okay, and then in the primary text, I have absolutely nothing. When you're running just a Stories ad, there's no real advantage to having much in the primary text. I mean, it would appear down here next to the Learn More button, but it's what's in the video that's going to grab people's attention, okay? Now, the website URL, very, very important. This is, as you can see, Instagram.com/Ben Heath Marketing. That is my Instagram profile. So you want to grab the link to your Instagram profile and pop it in there, because when people click on this Learn More button down here, they're going to be taken to my Instagram account, and you'll see in a second when we get to this, I'm basically telling them why they should follow me. Display link is left blank. Learn More, I haven't done a lot of testing on the call to action. I'm pretty sure Learn More is what's going to perform best, so that's what I go ahead and use. You could test a few different options, but bear in mind that when it comes to testing variables with an ad campaign that's trying to get you Instagram followers, it's very difficult to work out exactly what delivers the results, because all you can track is link clicks. You can't track who actually goes on to follow. So I ended up doing things like I'd run one option for a few days, see what the results were like, run another option for a few days, see what the results were like. Because of course, just because you get a lower cost per click with one option doesn't mean those people are going on to follow. So you need that time difference to be able to tell those difference, if that makes sense, if you see what I'm saying. So for example, when I ran the feeds as the only option, the Instagram feed is the only option, I ran that for 4 days. How many followers did I get? Right, then the next 4 days, ran it with just going to Stories. How many followers did I get? Okay, Stories significantly beat feeds, and that's how you can run those sorts of experiments. So just be aware that when you want to test things like, I'll test the Learn More button versus something else, it's not as straightforward to be able to test that with this option, because Facebook doesn't have an Instagram followers campaign objective yet. Hopefully they do in the future, but we will see. Everything else can be left as is. Very, very simple ad. Let's have a look at the ad creative itself. So starting again now. Hi, my name is Ben Heath. I'm the CEO of Lead Guru, which is a social media marketing agency that generates millions of dollars every year with Facebook advertising and Instagram ad campaigns. If you want to see how we do it, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Just click the link below. That'll take you to my profile, and I'll talk to you soon. So very, very simple. Obviously, it's under the 15 seconds, so it can be an Instagram story ad, and it's highlighting the benefits of why someone would want to follow me, and it's telling them exactly what they should do. So it's saying, hi, my name's Ben Heath. So I'm introducing myself. I'm the CEO of Lead Guru, which is a social media marketing agency that generates millions of dollars every year with Facebook advertising and Instagram ad campaigns. So this is who I am. This is what I'm about. I'm the CEO of a social media marketing agency. You should follow me because I know what I'm talking about. We generate millions of dollars every year in revenue from Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns. If that's something that's interesting to you, if you would like to know how to do that yourself, go ahead and follow me, and I tell them exactly how to do it. Click on the Learn More button. In fact, I can't remember exactly what I said here. Let's just wait for it to come around. Yeah, if you want to see how we do it, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Just click the link below, basically the button, and that'll take you to my profile, and I'll talk to you soon. Very, very simple. I've just recorded this out walking on a dog walk. As you'll have seen, I record videos doing that every now and then. Very easy way to just grab my phone and do it. The vertical profile also works well on for Instagram stories that you can record on your phone. And that's it. So I tested that as an option, and then I've got another one here. So all the other videos are exactly the same, but I took a little bit of a different approach. Instead of just saying, this is what I'm about, come and follow me, which I'd recommend you test, I did this instead. So I'm going to start again. Hi, my name's Ben Heath, and if you want to see how my company, Lead Guru, generates millions of dollars every year with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, go ahead and download my free 5-part Facebook ad template. You can find it in my Instagram profile. Just click the link below. Make sure you follow me whilst you're there and grab it. So you can see I've taken a little bit of a different approach there. Very, very similar in terms of I'm out walking, the dog with a phone, just quick 15-second video recording. But instead of saying we generate millions of dollars, therefore you should follow me because I'm going to give you content, instead I say, why not download my free 5-part Facebook ad template to see some of our best performing ads and how we've been able to achieve those fantastic results. I'm giving them something free that they have to go through to my Instagram profile, and then my Instagram profile, in the link that you're allowed to put in it, is a download of my free 5-part Facebook ad template. So if you go and check out my Instagram profile, it said link will be included in the video description, you'll see it just there. You can go ahead and download that if you want as well, something I'd recommend doing. But it's giving something free. And what I actually found, interestingly, is that this second option slightly outperformed this first option here. Only a little bit, not massively. It wasn't groundbreaking, but slightly outperformed it. Okay, so this is the one that has been run more. If you have a free lead magnet or something like that, then great. Go ahead and try putting it in an Instagram stories ad like this. Give that a go. If you don't, the first option is absolutely fine. And you can absolutely model from these ads and use them for your specific industry in any way that you want. Okay, so, if you're a health and fitness expert or a sales coach or whatever it happens to be, why do people want to follow you? What value are they going to get? What have you done? What can you show them how to do? That's what you want to very quickly get across in your Instagram stories ad. As I said, 15 seconds long. My recommendation would be to record a whole bunch of these. They take so little time. You can do it, with a sort of nice video setup like I've kind of got now with a background and all that sort of stuff, or you can just do it out on a walk like I've done here. You can keep it very, very simple and straightforward. Okay, what results did this get? So as I said, I can go back into my Facebook ad account and show you the data, but it doesn't really mean a huge amount because, as I said, you can't track cost per follow. What I found is that, let's take this option because this one performs slightly better. When I was targeting countries like UK, US, Australia, Canada, I could still work out what my cost per follow was because I could work out how much I'd spent and then how many followers I'd got. It cost me about 20p, so about 25 cents if you're operating in US dollars per follower, okay? Which you might think is relatively expensive. I mean, I have 2,500 followers, not a huge amount. I probably generated over 1,000 of those with this strategy. As I said, I've been experimenting with it. So if you wanted 1,000 Instagram followers and you're advertising those markets, you might be looking at, let's say, $200, $250 to get that. Now, you might think that's really expensive. If that's the case and you want a couple thousand followers, 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, go ahead and open it up to those less expensive countries. When I added in countries, you can see I've tested it here worldwide. When I've added in countries like India and the Philippines and some African countries, that cost per follow came down to about 4p, 5 cents. So significantly less, about 20%. I barely ran that. I just wanted to see how it would perform because to be able to tell you guys in this sort of video, it's not something that I want, my Instagram profile to be full of people that are from those countries because I know they're very unlikely to go ahead and use our services. But that's in terms of cost, what you can expect. If Facebook do bring out a Instagram followers campaign objective, I would expect that to come down enormously. Okay, and different industries will have lower costs. I mean, I'm talking about social media marketing, which is probably about average. I'd have thought, as I said, if you're anything to do with nutrition, health and fitness, industries where there's way, way more people that are interested in that, that cost is going to come down a lot in comparison to what I've been able to achieve here. But hopefully that's useful. That is a viable way to get some Instagram followers. So if you're looking at your profile and you've got 55 followers and you think, oh, that's just embarrassing, that's not going to do anything for my business, I'd like to have 500, 600, 1,500, 5,000, you can run ad campaigns in order to acquire them. It may work out actually being a lot cheaper in terms of, if you put a value on your time than trying to do it organically, which, as we all know, is very, very difficult to do. Okay, hopefully that's been useful. Before you go, something I'll quickly mention, and that's a free webinar I created called 3 Killer Facebook Advertising Strategies to Double or More Your Business. Now, I call them Facebook advertising strategies, but obviously, as I'm sure you appreciate, when you run a Facebook ad campaign, Instagram is often included in that as well. And this webinar basically breaks down 3 different strategies that we've used for our clients. We generated more than $1 million with all 3. They perform incredibly well, very much tried and tested. And I break down each 3 of these strategies. So I explain what we've exactly how they work. I show you how they work, why they work. I also explain which type of business wants to use which one, which is very, very important. If you sell a $30 product, you've got to advertise that differently to a $10,000 service. So I explain all that in this webinar. It's completely free. Link in the video description. I would strongly recommend you go ahead and give that a watch. 60, 70 minutes long, be well worth the time. Another thing I want to mention is my Facebook Ads Mastermind group. There's over 30,000 members in my Facebook Ads Mastermind group right now. Fantastic community full of people wanting to get better results with Facebook from a marketing standpoint, whether it's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Facebook groups, all that sort of stuff. Questions are being asked, answered. I do live trainings in there. So I'd strongly recommend you go ahead and join that completely free. Again, link is in the video description. So hopefully I'll see you on one of those 2 things, hopefully both. Either way, best of luck with your Facebook ad campaigns and your Instagram ad campaigns. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel where I release Facebook, Instagram advertising related content every single week. When you do subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you are notified, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.